Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and welcome to another Soul Calibur video. Today I'll be talking about the history of Sophitia. Now Sophitia is of Greek descent. Having been born in Athens, she had a very peaceful upbringing, with her father being a baker and her family being kind of religious. Sophitia was never one to condone violence, nor did the thought ever cross her mind. That was until one day she was approached by the Olympian god of fire and forge, Hephaestus. He approached her and gave her the opportunity to do the will of the gods, and that was to hunt down Soul Edge and destroy this weapon, as his father Zeus was worried that one of his sons, Ares, would be able to get his hands on such a devastating weapon and overthrow Olympus. Now originally Sophitia was very hesitant to take this mission, as she wasn't really experienced in combat, so really she kind of felt outclassed in this field, but Hephaestus had reassured her that her strength and willpower will allow her to go through this, and to help her chances of success. Hephaestus himself would forge not only her armor, but a holy weapon known as the Omega Blade. Unlike that, she set off on her journey. It wasn't long till she in fact came across the wielder of Soul Edge, the pirate Cervantes. Now the battle was extremely fierce, with Sophitia in fact gaining the upper hand and strike one of the Soul Edge blades so hard that she rendered it to shards. Unfortunately, she was outclassed in swordsmanship and was nearly killed until the female ninja Taki came in and not only saved her life but defeat Cervantes as well. Now after this battle, Taki would in fact take her back home to Athens, where she'd be taken care of by her younger sister, Cassandra. Now recovering from this battle was slow and painful for her, as she had to have fragments of Soul Edge pulled out from her, and they were for the most part very successful, but there was one shard that was very close to her heart, and because of this, they could not extract this, as it would kill her. Now some time would pass by, with Sophitia eventually getting back on her feet and continuing her somewhat normal day-to-day life. She wasn't praised as a hero by her people, as no one actually believed her story outside of her sister. And around this time too, she started to have visions of an azure knight wielding a large sword. It took her a few times to in fact realize that the blade he was wielding was in fact Soul Edge. The other half hadn't been destroyed and was still around, so she would report this news to Hephaestus, who would grant her holy metals in order to forge new armor and create a new Omega sword. And once again she would pursue after Soul Edge. Now Sophitia was able to cleanse the land of any evildoers, but was unable to find Soul Edge, and it got to the point where she could feel that the blade was now gone. So when she realized this, she decided to return back home to Athens. Now when she returned back, she married a man by the name of Rothlon and gave birth to a pair of twins, Patroklos and Pyrrhas. And now with Sophitia having a family, she kind of settled down and found a form of happiness that was missing in her life. But one day her husband Rothlon would bring back a mysterious metal shard, as it was a gift a customer had given to him, and somehow this had caused Pyrrhas and Patroklos to fight each other, along with Sophitia feeling her old wounds from when she had first fought Soul Edge. It was only until she herself had in fact found the shard that she came to the realization that this was a piece of Soul Edge. Realizing that things wouldn't be over until Soul Edge was completely destroyed, Sophitia would prepare herself to once again go out and hunt down the cursed sword. But her younger sister Cassandra was tired of seeing her sister take on this burden alone, so she would in fact steal her shield and sword and go off to try and attempt to do this herself, as she didn't want her sister to get hurt. But Cassandra had forgotten that Rothlon had in fact forged the second Omega sword, so Rothlon would forge a sword and shield for Sophitia, and she would set off of the hopes of not only finding her sister, but finding Soul Edge. Now eventually she got to Ostrinsburg, where she'd crossed paths with Tira for the first time. Now the two had an evenly matched battle, but during the fight Sophitia felt unnerved due to Tira's psychotic mannerism, as Tira was somehow aware of Sophitia and her children, and was trying to use this to her advantage. Luckily Sophitia was able to in fact shake this off and return back home, but it didn't seem like Sophitia could in fact get away from her, as she would once again be attacked by Tira, and learn from fighting her was an individual that was only filled with hate and malice. Now Tira would be offended by this and left with a warning, saying that she would in fact come for Sophitia's children, and because of this Sophitia would once again set off, as she wanted to destroy Soul Edge in order to protect her children. But this plan backfired in a huge way due to her constantly leaving home. It gave Tira the perfect opportunity to in fact kidnap Pyrrha. The young girl would then be exposed to the corruptive energy given off by Soul Edge, and it was done to the point where Pyrrha would in fact die if she wasn't around the weapon. Sophitia was disgusted by these actions and travelled all the way to Ostrheinsburg so she could slay Pyrrha and Soul Edge. But unfortunately, when she was here, she learned of what had happened to Pyrrha, and it's here where she'd actually be blackmailed by Nightmare and Tira to serve under them as a puppet. Now this is where the character story kind of draws to a sad ending, as let's face it, we all know that Siegfried was successful in destroying Soul Edge and Nightmare, which then in fact leads to Pyrrha dying. But Sophitia, being the caring mother she is, takes the Soul Edge shard that's in her chest and gives it to Pyrrha in order to keep her alive. But sadly, because of this, Sophitia would in fact die. So her canon death is actually at the end of Soul Calibur 4, which is the main reason why we in fact do not see her in 5. And the individual we do see in Soul Calibur 5 that resembles her a little bit, Elysium, is in no way, shape or form actually connected to her. It's the inner spirit that lives in Soul Calibur that has simply just taken on a form that's very similar to Sophitia's to kind of manipulate Patroklos in the actual story mode of the game. But outside of that, the two characters in no way, shape or form are related. And to answer the final question here, is that the reason why Tira was so incredibly interested in Sophitia is because she knew about the Soul Edge shard in her chest. By having that item in her for such a long amount of time, it meant that her bloodline would in fact be cursed, which means that her children would be viable candidates to become a successor to Soul Edge, which is something we in fact do see in Soul Calibur 5. That's why from Soul Calibur 3 onwards, she pays very close attention to that family. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video, guys. Hopefully it's given you a little bit more insight on the character, especially with the reboot coming around the corner. It seems like a great opportunity to be refreshed with the characters from the original Soul Calibur game, since Soul Calibur 6 is a reboot of the series, which means we don't have to see these two individuals, but the OG that in fact brought them into the series in the first place. Good to have you back, Sophitia. Now I don't actually have a plan for another Soul Calibur character next week, so down in the comments below, let me know who you guys want to see, and I guess whoever gets the most thumbs up will ultimately determine next week's video. Of course, I am saving a few for some character trailers coming down the line, so if I don't feature them just yet, know that I'm just kind of waiting on them. But yeah guys, that's it for now. Now before this video wraps up guys, if possible, let's try getting this video to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel, as YouTube's ad system is broken as hell, so by giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And if you'd like to go that extra step, we also have a Patreon set up. A link for that will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.